been chosen to forge a new future. Let us rid the Imperium of these witches forever.
Today we are taking a deep dive into the latest trailer of episode 5 of Dune Prophecy, which is titled In Blood Truth. Now, after episode 4 literally changed the shape of what the Sisterhood is capable of, we saw the Emperor finally unleash his new weapon as Tula plans to use Layla to destroy the oncoming reckoning. Now, based on this trailer, it looks like sides will be chosen and lives will be lost, and the Sisterhood as we know it will be changed after this episode. With that said, spoiler warning for the previous episode alongside my theories and predictions based on this trailer. We open this trailer with Hart with what looks to be elite soldiers behind him who are in support of the Emperor's new way of eliminating anyone who goes against him and those breaking the law against the use of thinking machine technology. Now during this, we hear and eventually see the Empress face to face with Hart telling him,
You've been chosen to forge a new future. Let us rid the Imperium of these witches forever.
Now taking a look at those soldiers, I could be wrong, but they look like the Salakar. Now for the non-book readers like myself, you'll remember them in the first Dune film. Now they are an elite military force who served primarily during the Carino Empire. Now they were renowned and feared throughout the known universe for their fanatic zeal, superior fighting abilities, and their sheer ruthlessness. Now members of the Salazar were raised from a young age in an unforgiving natural environment that saw almost half of them die before the age of 11. Now intense training gave them formidable swordsmanship and espionage abilities and instilled in them a religious fervor that added to their mystique and served to make them even more loyal to the Imperium House. Now this shot of the Empress so close to Hart could simply be her way to really showing how important it is for them to eliminate or eradicate their sisterhood, but I have this feeling that this may be more of a personal or maybe intimate moment between the two characters, and it might be the Empress' way of getting back at her husband, who's seen possibly rekindling an old relationship in this trailer. We get this shot of Valia saying that the Sisterhood must act, and we cut to this moment of a character that we briefly saw in the flashback sequences, but here we see that they're now an adult, and this is Sister Francesca. Now Francesca will be played by the very famous and well-respected and talented and acclaimed actress Tabu. Now in the book, she's known as an alluring, powerful woman who was once the great love of the Emperor. Now we'll discuss scenes that we see her reunited with her past love, but again, her return could make the Empress jealous, and it would explain why her and Hart may be getting closer, but also it would explain the scene that goes back to episode 1 between the Emperor and the Empress, where it was implied that their relationship isn't as strong as it once was, and Sister Francesca could be the reason why, and maybe even she might be revealed to be the mother of Constantine. Now to follow that reveal, we hear Valia say, we must occupy the Emperor as we see shots of Sister Francesca and the Emperor face to face. Here we see the scars on Hart's back as he grabs his knife as Valia says that they must eliminate Hart, which seems to be the main focus of episode 5, especially the last shot of this trailer. Now we hear Tula saying that this is a time of chaos as Avola and the other sisters are either leaving or welcoming one of their own as we see the ships behind them. Now by the end of episode 4, we saw that Emmeline was beginning to kind of create her own following, very similar to Mother Dorothea, and it looks like her following may have gotten bigger since episode 4, or going back to that last shot, maybe this is all of the sisters watching Tula leave after discovering that she kept Lila alive, and she's been having all these lies going around. They caught up to her, and maybe she's being sent off because of that. Now we hear and watch Tula say, protect her sisterhood at all costs. Again, is this her being sent off? Is this on her own terms? Has she been banished? Is she saying this to Tula or maybe Jen? Which actually leads us into the very next shot. See Tula walking into the breeding archives into where she's keeping Lila as we see this person with a flashlight in the tunnels, and is led to believe that it's Jen, who we see walking towards a door where Lila appears and screams at her. Now could we see the sisterhood under this division and Tula is gone and there's chaos happening, and Tula leaves Jen to release Lila or prove that she's still alive, and Jen and Lila are tasked with bringing some sense of order back to the sisterhood after Emmeline and others have maybe overthrown Tula. As we get this shot of ships flying over the water as the Emperor says, now more than ever we need to defend our values with ferocity. From here we see the ferocity in action as the soldiers walk through the palace led by Hart, as we see them walking through a training session with Constantine and Kieran. Next we see them in the nightclub that we've consistently been in throughout this season as they raid the place, which we know there were dealings of technology there from the last episode, and also a place that the rebellion would meet. As we see Michaela in the background of this raid, as Valia is saying that he has a power that I can't account for. Now this is from another scene with Michaela that we'll discuss here in a second, but we see Theodosia and Valia giving Michaela an item. Could this be a message or maybe a device that they want to use against Hart to eliminate him? As we see Hart at his desk with what looks to be the thinking technology that he's collected so far, here we see Lila telling Tula that if he succeeds, humanity will backslide into self-destruction. Now, Lila is saying this while she's talking to Tula on the table, but the shots over this, we see Tula in the room with the thinking machine technology, and it seems that she may have discovered or seen something of value with this look of shock or surprise on her face. Now, here we see Francesca putting her hand on the shoulder of Constantine. Again, not having any book knowledge, but looking at these three characters in the same scene, and I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, it wouldn't surprise me if it's revealed that she's the mother of Constantine, which would explain why the Empress is so against the sisterhood, because not only did her husband have a relationship with one of the members of the sisterhood, but it looks like a child was created because of that relationship. Here we see what looks to be a woman, probably Nez, walking into the gravitational holding cells as we see someone is being held there in the air like we saw Hart in episode 2. Now, could this person being held be revealed to be Karen after being caught and tied into the rebellion, and maybe Nez is here to break him out? Which actually leads right into us seeing Karen in this area, and it may be where the foundation or the center of the palace is, as it looked like he set up explosives around the columns. Here we see Michaela with a knife in her hand fighting against one of the soldiers as we see Constantine screaming. Now this shot of Constantine screaming looks like the same shot from him and Karen training, and I think that because this looks like some type of punching bag in the world of Dune, and maybe he's letting out some anger and after maybe not helping his sister from standing up against her father from episode 4, or he might be angry with seeing the return of his mother, Francesca. As our final shot shows what I believe Karen was setting up from the previous shot with those explosives, as we see that they're now going off, and we see Hart using one of the Holtzman shields to protect him from the blast. Wow, what a literal explosive trailer for what I hope is explosive episode 5, the penultimate episode. Will Francesca manage to successfully distract the Emperor? Will the Empress have Hart take her out and cause Constantine to lose his anger after the possible death of his mother? Will Valia use Theodosia's shapeshifting abilities to disguise herself as someone of importance? Maybe she'll change into the Emperor, or maybe even Hart, or maybe she takes Francesca's form. Now, it looks like Kieran will be getting his revenge on his fallen members of the rebellion, but at what cost? I really have a feeling that we're going to get some sort of confirmation of Hart's origins and really get a better understanding of who's behind his recreation and his ties to something that may be tied into the greater Dune universe from the future. There's a lot to look forward to based on this trailer, and I can't wait to see what this episode has in store for us coming this Sunday, December 15th. So make sure if you haven't already to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss out on any of my Dune Prophecy coverage once the episode releases. Please make sure to leave your thoughts and theories after watching this trailer, and make sure to check out my latest breakdown of episode 4, which can be found in the description of this very video as well as on the screen right now. Thank you all for watching. Remember, you all are awesome. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next breakdown.